Hi, this is going to be a series called Share, and I'm a retired physical therapist, but I also did work in motor learning and neuropsych, and that made me a psychomotor therapist. So today, so when I retired, I joined the Brain Institute, where I was a volunteer also, and built a class for adults, aged people, and blind people, and this time today we're going to speak only about the breathing, because they told me there, if you speak about psychomotor awareness, they're not going to understand. So you have to put it clearly to them. We call it breath and balance, and tension control. So today we're going to speak only about the breathing, because it's a lot of things about it. You know, a lot of people don't know how to really to breathe. They breathe very partially, use really partially their breathing capacity, and also the smokers, etc. So I had one of the students, a young man, who had multiple pneumonias, and I noticed that he was never able to get rid of the mucosities in his lungs. So I was looking for a way to explain to him how to do it, to empty his lungs of air and to breathe in new air. So I came out with an idea. And it worked. And I told him, and I told the whole class, of course, you remember the locomotive, the vapor locomotive, huh? You remember the choo-choos. So everybody said, oh yeah. So they went, and I told them that at the end of the breath, you take a deep breath, and then at the end, you push the rest like if you were a locomotive, like this. And breathe in. You see, I emptied my lungs here. And then I breathe a new air, and really rich in oxygen. But the idea is to chase also all the mucosities that keep the infection longer than it should. So because of the lack of mobility of the lungs. So I told him that method, and slowly he got rid of it. He got rid of those mucosities, and normally when you do this, you hear a little whistle. That means that you pushed up already the foreign substance away from your lungs, and they're in the bronchioles. And then you have to speed it out. You have to use, no matter how, you have to use the Mediterranean Olympic spitting contest. It's very efficient to get rid of the accumulation of those mucosities and on the bronchioles and on the lungs. So don't be afraid to spit it, but not in front of the people, of course, because it's not a very nice sound or a very action. So that's the idea, to push anything that doesn't belong to the lungs out, up enough in the throat to be able to spit it, and slowly get rid of all the impurities. So this is what I suggest to do. This locomotive, we're going to call it Locamak, locomotive AK. AK are my initials. So this, I'll repeat it again. You take a deep breath, and at the end of the breath, you do the locomotive. My lungs were completely empty then. Because that kind of breathing really activates the muscles that squeeze the lungs. So now, and that you have to do it regularly. Moreover, when you had a pneumonia and that you're not succeeding to get rid of the residues of the pneumonia out of the lungs. So remember, locomotive, Locamak. It's like this. Another time I'm going to do it. All right. So now I'm going to show you also an exercise to develop the strength of the muscles that act upon the chest and the lungs. So you lie down on the side. Whoops. On the side like this. You bend the lower, the lower leg, and this one stays straight that way. And you put your hand like this, and you breathe in very deeply. While you're breathing in, you extend your arm to facilitate the movement of the chest and therefore the lung. So you do that 10 times. You have to notice this part of the chest going up. You have to do it. Encourage it. By this movement, you do it almost passively. It goes up. And therefore, give the space that the lung need to completely fill. Ten times on each side. And I'm going to do it on the other side now. Like this. Same thing. Whoops. Same thing. Ten times. This is an excellent exercise. It's the best for the lung, for the development of the chest, and therefore for the lungs and the lung capacity. So, of course, this doesn't replace walking and running, etc. But this is for people, mostly people who do no exercise or small or hardly any exercise, hardly exercise, putting their lungs in the need of expand, and so this exercise, as for this kind of people, and also smokers. Smokers benefit a lot of this. And also don't forget that when you have brought the mucus and all the foreign substances away from the lungs up to the throat, don't forget to spit and to use the Mediterranean Olympic spitting contest. And you'll see, it's gonna work. So I'm gonna stop here. I hope you are going to do it really, because in this period of corona pandemic, we need to have clean lungs, and we have to build those muscles that act upon it, and that helps the breathing, and so that we give hard time to corona to invade and prevents us to breathe. And I recommend these exercises especially to aged people, to everybody of course, but to aged people and people who have a sedentary life. They don't do exercises, they don't run, they don't walk. So this is very important, easy for lazy people. So I'm going to stop here and wish you good luck and wish that it's going to work. Next part of the series is going to be something completely different. It's going to be exercises that are going to involve, of course, this again. I remind you that I built this class for aged people who had acquired or rather lost a lot of their capacity of breathing, a lot of their balance, and that they're going to recover all that because aging we take bad habits. We sit too long in front of the television, we doze in the television, and we lose and we compromise our breathing capacity. When we doze, we put down our head, and that really obliges us to have a very superficial breathing. So good luck, and we'll see you next time in this series called Share. And I'm sharing with fellow quarantiners.